home field advantage. I'm Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy, coming to you live from the Bambino's Italian Cafe studio here, presented by 417 Navigator, 417navigator.com. We go back to Tipton High School and the defending girls Class 2 state champions, head coach Jason Culpepper. Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
26-3 on the season. Another outstanding season for Tipton. Tell us a little bit about the season up to this point.
Yeah, we've had a really good year this year. We lost, a lot of girls off last year's state title team, but we brought back a few returning starters, and we brought in our 6th and 7th man that were freshmen last year that have really stepped up big for us. Played a tough schedule this year. Lost to some good teams, beat some really good teams as well. Beat Max Creek to start the season. Beat Capital City and California in the Tipton tournament. Then we played Leeton, beat them, beat Fatima, beat Russellville, beat Jeff City Jays, and then we had a few losses in there as well. We lost this year to Skyline by 5 at Skyline, lost to El Dorado Springs at home in double overtime, and then we lost to Helias by 8 at the Hall of Fame shootout at Father Toll.
Yeah, just looking at your schedule, and obviously you mentioned that tough schedule, and you mentioned Skyline, El Dorado Springs. Those are teams that were Final Four teams from a year ago, and then perennially, especially in Skyline's case, have been there. How well do you think that prepared you for the postseason?
I think anytime you play against great competition, your kids usually bring something away from it, even in losses. It makes your kids have to prepare against good teams. They have to really stay focused, do what they got to do defensively to prevent those great teams and those great players from being able to have scoring opportunities. I think it's great preparation for us going through postseason runs to play against some teams like that throughout the year, where it allows us to, scout for a couple days and put in things throughout practice over the course of 2 or 3 days. So whenever we play against those teams, our girls are locked in and focused to what they need to do to try and limit some of their good players a few opportunities.
Kind of compare and contrast where this team was a year ago compared to where you are right now. Obviously, you've got different personnel. What are some of the similarities and some of the differences between last year's championship team and this year's team?
I think last year's team was, kind of one of those outlier teams where you have great upperclassmen, you have great incoming freshmen, you have height, you have speed, you have great shooting. Really, our team last year was a Class 2 team, but we were willing to play against anybody Class 1 through 6, with the exception of probably Incarnate Word. They're kind of on a different level, but anybody else in the state, we kind of thought was fair games for us last year. This year, we're not as deep as we were last year. We can't roll 7 girls out there that can score double digits every game, but I think, this year's team kind of has a little bit of difference between last year's team because this year's team can defend really well. Our team last year was really good defensively, but also we had 2 6-footers behind the guards that could help cover things up that we don't have this year. So I think our team defense in the half court is probably better. We don't have as much scoring in bunches that we had last year, but we still have 3 players that are averaging over 16 points a game. So, we still have plenty of offense. But, I think last year's team, just had that offensive ability in 1 through 7 that came on the court, where this year we pretty much know that our 3 girls are going to go out there and get 20, and then Courtney is probably going to go out there and get 10. And then, either our 5th starter or 6th man is going to get, 3 to 5. So, scoring just doesn't come quite as easy as it did last year, where it could be any of the girls that were on the court.
Kind of a real good stretch here through the Class 2 District 8 tournament. Then in the sectional game, you got Fayette. Now you take on a Clopton team that, in the records I looked up, I can't even find where you ever played them before. As a school there, what do you know about Clopton, and what are you going to have to do to come out on top?
Yeah, we've never played them. Played a few like opponents that they've played. We're pretty familiar with Montgomery County. I know their coach pretty well, and so I've watched, I don't know, 5, 6 game films on Clopton. Um, they've got a really really good freshman point guard. She is averaging 10 points, 8 assists a game, which it's kind of like I told the girls, to have a girl averaging 8 assists a game is pretty remarkable. You don't see that very often in boys or girls basketball in high school, but she averages 8 assists a game. They've got another guard, a two guard, number 11, who averages 13 points a game. She's a really fast guard. They've got a forward that shoots the three ball really well. They got a freshman post that does a really good job inside. So they got a really good team overall. They're fast. They like to get after. They play kind of similar to Skyline and Eldo in the fact that they like to get up, run and jump a little bit, and they also like to kind of do that dribble drive, so they can create opportunities for their teammates there.
And coach, and again, we're visiting with Jason Culpepper, head coach, Tipton Lady Cardinals basketball team. And coach, right now, and everybody's got bumps and bruises at this point. The season you've played a 28, 29 games. At this point, outside of just the normal wear and tear, you guys are relatively healthy.
Yeah, we got everybody 100% right now. There was some sickness going around there in February, like it goes around everywhere, and you never know when that's going to strike. But overall health, we don't have any injuries to speak of.
And then where will this game be played against Clopton?
Yeah, this game will be played at Clopton High School, so it'll be a 2.5 hour drive for us on Friday afternoon.
Very good, very good. I've seen a lot of comments with regards to the drive that some of
Yeah,
these teams. Walnut Grove's got 540 miles round trip. For their
yeah.
quarterfinal game. That's amazing. But what are your plans between now and then? What are you leaving, and what are you going to do? Are you getting a send off? And what are your plans between now and Friday night?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. We played in this game, 6 out of the last 7 years. So we've kind of developed a pretty good routine over the course of the last 7 years, and this will be our 5th straight year in this game. So we've kind of got it down what we're going to do. We'll have practice today as normal, and then tomorrow we'll have practice. It'll be a little bit shorter. We'll get done about 5, and then we go to the movies every year on the night before sectional. So we'll go to the movies as a team. My wife cooks us dinner, so we'll have dinner before we go to the movies, and then Friday, a little bit different. We'll actually leave school about 12:30 or 1. Since it's about a 2.5 hour drive, we will stop somewhere along the way, about halfway, and we'll probably stop for 45 minutes or so, just to prevent those dead legs that you get whenever you drive anywhere for 2.5 hours plus. Just try and keep them fresh, keep them out of the car, and just so whenever we get there, we'll get there probably 4:30, so we can get there plenty early, so we can just get acclimated to the gym and back with our feet underneath us.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. Being an administrator and a head coach at this time of the year has got to be stressful, but I appreciate you setting aside a few minutes here for the Missouri Sports Network.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This year's been really busy, especially with the boys winning districts. We had to host sectional girls on Monday, sectional boys on Tuesday. So back-to-back sold-out gyms here at Tipton was, really fun, but it was a really busy time too.
Hey, you bet. Hey, safe travels, good luck, and hopefully we'll get to visit with you next week as well.
Yep, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be